What's this guy?
That's how far down.
That's about, yeah, it just, it came over, it just curved it down. Just like.
Guess what? That's almost hillside.
It's still up to over the window, center of the windows, because eventually that's gonna come on. I don't, I think it'll really be slow and gradual.
Yeah, that could just be
But
extra
it
stuff
will
they threw
get
up there when they were doing the roads.
Well,
Apologize for our delay, we have. 18. South River City Council meeting. Then pledge of allegiance, I'll lead us in that, and then Councilman Dales will offer his prayer. Thank you. Okay, we'll begin with public comment. If you've got a comment, I'm going to ask you to come up to the call, state your name and your city, and tell us your comment.
Paul Stern, South River City. Both my comments tonight have to do with the fact that eventually signed by the council. My first public comment is on the budget amendment fiscal year 2023. Resolution 2024. I have a question regarding the spreadsheet for the proposed budget amendments. When the term fund balance is to be appropriated is used, what numerical lines should also be used? As shown below, numerical values are shown in both positive and negative. And comment number 2 is agenda action item 10, resolution 15, municipal waste. In MWPP survey. Page 21. What was the annual average user charge for 2022? The answer there is, I believe the number shown is actually the average monthly annual charge. Also, it would be appreciated if the packet pages are numbered, but they have been number of numbering the pages permits easier reference. For now, all they do is page numbering in the header.
On to our action items, consent agenda. approval on March 14th minutes, March checks, and February's budget action. Any discussion on this? Not for the motion. For this? Motion in a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Next item, ordinance. That's right. Two abstained. You get that? Next item, ordinance 2023-4. Any concern? We can discuss on that. See none, we want for a motion on that.
Mayor, I would like to approve ordinance 2023-04.
Motion in a second, reading, roll call vote by Councilman Alderson. There, so. To the next item, resolution 23-10, Southeast Model Railroad. Any discussion on this new contract with the train?
Mary, I have a few questions on that. If everyone would turn to page 30, please. On page 82 of the packet, it says they would meet one Saturday a month. And we had talked about that previously. So it's a long time coming. Worked on this in 2019. And we're hoping to get it to the council. It is. We talked about going to 2 Saturdays, so youth club presidency, leadership. Was this discussed with them? Did they say that they didn't want to do 2 Saturdays?
Yeah, we did discuss that with them.
Little torn on that, just because I appreciate that. It's just hard to have a amenity in the park that the public can use it. Especially since the rate they're being charged. We have discussed more than that, knowing that they're limited on revenue. I don't know, I just felt like maybe 2 months would be more appropriate. And days of meetings or something. That's my thought. I didn't.
Better than to this now. They wouldn't. It's too wet. Give some flexibility. Understand, just- They still can do 2. I think they still want 2.
10-year term.
There's 1 year.
So that's what.
They want to. And that can always. Because well, you only get them. This is cleared up, you take the contract. Yeah. They did go through and they did a very good job proving to us that they could get the work done that they were asked to do. They were still a little sloppy on the weeds, and we talked again about that and added into the new contract how those things have to be maintained or it's going to be done. It's not even a question now. We're looking at getting some professional to come in and take care of it. So as they were discussing, here's all the things that we agreed to. We passed the first test, if you will. We want to extend that year, but if our tenants still have, so we can cancel it if we don't have.
Right.
And that's what they said, is if you can cancel at any time, why do we have to put it 10 years? As Quinn was saying, they went 99 because as they're getting additional investors, they're going to say, yeah, come invest in 5 years in this water feature. It was kind of a balancing act for that. And yeah, it did not 39. I think 10 years for us to sit down and actually have a good discussion.
I feel like 10's too long, and then seeing that perspective of 99 years of facility, but and I appreciate that we've had some further here, but we also have how many years of history where we just haven't had one. So it might be easy to say, we're really going to this year, we get this contract in, and we're going to let it fly, knowing that we can cancel anytime. We should go.
I think just I think one of the things from their standpoint, for that side staff. You're saying you're supportive. That's their part of it. So the 10 years was, kind of the compromise. Say, okay, well, we do something. Yeah, if you're going to follow up what you're saying they're doing, then we're good with 10 years. But we're also going to have the meetings throughout the year to assess where things are and give expectations and some contracts that will be canceled. If they're not really up to it. So yeah, it's one of those things from their standpoint. They didn't know to make it go really well. If we were looking for
What about 5 years though? Like,
plus we can come back with it. We told them it has to come from this body, so 10 may not stick. But we told them 99 is different.
right.
And the intent of having it done at 5 would be to end the contract and then negotiate a new one at that point.
Exactly. And being in your position on that committee, things change so quickly that you may go, oh, geez, 10 years. What? To have the ability to renegotiate, I think is really what I'm considering mostly.
That's something that's been kind of limited.
So every plan I really want to negotiate your experience. They keep it agreements so that they're able to get those kind of outside support. But there's something, a provision in there for us in case there needs to be negotiation. So we're not stuck there with that later.
Jen, correct me, but did we have something like that in our circular? We have an opportunity to update and adjust. I can't.
Which section are you? We haven't had any involved.
Well, it's probably in the section where.
That's 2.5, the coordination meetings. We just talked about timing, it does call them coordination and evaluation meetings, but it doesn't specifically talk about amendment.
Because we kind of think that we should. Something changes or something comes up.
It could be a simple unforeseen.
Yeah.
Always.
Just concentrate, it's not really just think of the balance required.
Yeah, there may be some legislation that comes up about trains and parks, not gonna joke, but it can happen.
We actually did. So we.
I think if we could add something like that, just to renegotiate it or at any point. Possible? Yeah.
Are you meaning just open and negotiation?
Like a yearly review or something, or?
And we have that.
Like the term of the 10 years, to me, I'm not speaking for everybody, it's going to be okay, as long as you, things that came up, you can negotiate those and put them into the contract, and provide an addendum. Just if there's something, none of us talk about it, these people, you know. What about a shorter term on it with go up to 10 years? You know what I mean? If you shorten the term to 3 years or whatever, 3 years, but it would automatically renew for another 3 years unless the city or they notify us. Being pushed very often with giving them a long-term thing for their ongoing.
I was really very concerned. And I think if we had, like you were saying, say it's for the 5 years. Years. Years like that. I don't know who would have been 5 or 10. I mean, obviously that's on it. Yeah, I don't think that they would really have a problem with that because it gives them enough time and security to be able to get investment and know that they're not leaving the park and being kicked out of it anytime soon. But at the same time, it allows for both sides to renegotiate if they want to have a continues through. So, I don't know. Dave, you got a good feel for it. I'm not confused at all. Let me ask this question. So if we have a 1 year. Mostly every year. It's written now to 5 twice a year to coordinate and evaluate that meeting. We say
we want to make a change. Then we do an addendum. Whether it's 1 year, 3 years, 10.
They don't necessarily have to agree to that.
Right, but either way. To me, it seems like it's the same thing because let's say we have a 3-year. Well, I'm sorry. Maybe the difference is it's either all or nothing, the way it is right now during those meetings, if they don't want to agree to it. Whereas do a 3-year, then after 3 years, it's still all or nothing. But they're forced to negotiate as opposed to just say, sorry. But that,
The biggest difference tonight is if all you're doing is you want to redefine it down. Or it's through the home. That they're asking, or we're talking. Give them an initial term that's long enough that they can attract investors. Then you have a regular. One of the big providers. That notice of that. Be for city to figure out what's the minimum length of time they would. Continue for a period of time. And for them, really did something wrong if he's more distant than those shaking hands. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can still terminate it at any time.
Right.
When we section on the their contract, we can generally still have that kind of, but yeah, there's an alternate. It's something that hasn't received, I haven't been on the conversation, so it's something I haven't received that unknown of the future, like the growth potential of the organization and what improvements they're gonna make over the next 10 years. That's
I'll tell you, my concern is we have seen at times a lot of excitement with the training club and active membership, and we have seen almost no membership. And so you go to this cycle where you have people that, okay, we'll take care of this, we'll get it done. And then it so hands on. So I really would love to make this succeed, but I'm looking at it now, I'm going, okay, several years of history and more. And I've been hesitant to say, let's just give you X amount as much as you want. I still want them knowing that we can cancel their needs. I want us to be able to renegotiate it at any time because we have had situations where when Blair and I first did it in 2018, I would have changed a whole lot of things when we did that originally.
where you require them to come up with a business plan, amount of time as a metric point. And after that, you have metrics you can add to that. Business plan, instead of 3 years, you're gonna increase X number of track.
Not necessarily. It's really staying on the maintenance, making sure we're in compliance. My concern is that we become out of compliance with any type of hazards they have, and that our park is no longer up to standard and to our assurance to the city. So that's my concern. Plus, everybody pays for the park, and if that part's not being maintained, then we're in this gray area. Well, Train Club's supposed to maintain it, but they're not. But it's really a city park, and I should go to the park and not have all this weeds everywhere. So it kind of goes back and forth. And so when we had discussed doing a 1-year term, shift up or shift out. Good job, thank you. So they brought things, I mean, they made a lot of improvements. But that doesn't mean that, my concern is not huge, oh, they need to have this feature and they need to have this and they need to have, no, I want them to maintain it. And make it accessible for residents if they're going to be there.
Just a good thing about it. There are investment in them. Depending on their ability to perform and to maintain their organization's great infrastructure over time, right? And so it maybe isn't a business plan to explore growth, but how to maintain their operations. Their funding sources. Assure their performance. And better their performance. Investment. That is good.
Well, how long will be, what you accept?
And keep in mind, we do have it in there, very well spelled out, exactly how well they have to clean, take care of trash and weeds around it. That the citizens down there really complained about, and so that was almost our prime concern with it was. we
Right.
can't keep it clean. That's why we put it as a biannual meetings with them, plus a decorations.
Which I appreciate, but. We have that spelled out before, you need to take care of X amount from the trash. So,
But why wasn't that? Enforced it.
It's pretty hard to enforce. They were told many things.
and so we said, okay, well, we could execute our right and just pull out the plug. But then that seems really harsh.
That's the only
You
thing
see what I'm
that-
saying? So that's, so here I come back to this tree club agreement and I'm like, I wanted this so bad and now I'm like,
They have it so that every 2 weeks, all the weeks up to 2 feet away from the center.
okay, so
They have to, that is part of the contract itself. So they have a measure.
do we have staff that's their assignment to go out every 2 weeks to do that? I'm being serious, though, because, like, how would we enforce? This isn't to like be on,
No,
I
no, no.
was in your position and we went round and round and round and round.
We actually did look up on it. Trust me, we said that was pretty- pretty terrifying. Did talk about it. We'd have to- Okay.
I see that as a code enforcement activity.
I keep saying, in my head, I keep saying 2 to 3 years. That's where I am going. Because our window is really small. For a season, right? And I'd like to see it. And I don't want to give them too much time.
And see, I'm still good with that. I'm not arguing with it. I just think that where we've got the ability to get them, we thought that they're not doing what we agreed upon. That holds it to the same, because that's really the only part we have. And whether we have any negotiation, well, what would be negotiated if it's just something that we haven't taken into account after years of working with these? I think that's a smaller chance than if it is not taken care of.
Okay, so are you okay with 3 years?
That's up to the county.
How do you feel?
I like the 5 year, because I don't think in the 5 years, things will change enough to do it. But at the same time, if you guys are, it's, it's something that the council should sign on, because clubs has got an auto renewal, so we don't have to renegotiate every 3 years just to go through the issues of it. I'm fine with it.
But I kind of feel like we just need to renew it. Like if we say 3 years, we dang well better 3 years with that. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, you don't have to read. rewrite the whole contract, but that's the whole point, is to look at it. Because they're up to 2018, nothing had formally been written, right? And so we sit down and we do this, and we went over with the attorney, right? This contract. And then in 3 years, we're like, oh, we would have changed this and this and this. And so it happens. That's how I'm saying. I'm gonna maintain 3 years. I'd like to see it.
I'm okay with 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with 1 time one.
Yes, what do you think?
Well, I was in the meeting. Kind of thought about this. I think it's like 5 years that push back. It's not long.
Then what do? Are they gonna go somewhere else?
That's a good question. I mean, we can ask that. Here's a representative. They feel like they can. They were very concerned when they changed the because they didn't have a discussion the background some 1 year. Like 1 year is ridiculous. Why are we going to park you guys? Only give us 1
I'm
year.
just trying to give you the background on that, because it was either 1 year or they were gone. That was kind of where we were at.
Well, we gave them a year, a year ago. And giving you this year to get in order where it's not gonna end. For me, I'm fine with 5. I don't know. I think we'll have a lot of pushback if we go less than 5 at that point. What do we do? So but I'm okay with even like 10 because I think that twice yearly thing, we can try to negotiate something there. And if they don't want to do it, then we say, okay, we'll cancel the contract. We don't lose anything. Or they come to the table, we negotiate, we get what we need. And I think it's in there. It's maybe not as clear as, it'd be nice to have it. Like really chance to renegotiate, to do it formally written. I think the case still exists, and I think that's the way they went through it. 10 years, 99 years. For them, they don't understand why we would, want to have it shorter.
I see that. That's the reason I keep going up to 3 years is that we don't lose that experience, maybe. This is members on the council. Because we brought this up in 2019 to renegotiate this contract. And now we're in 2023. So we're the 4 years already for this to finally come about because of whatever, right? So.
Let me ask you a question. Would it be adequate, for the biannual meeting, the committee came and presented to the city council? What we talked about, and maybe do a quick review with the council of here's where we sit with it, here's what we've done. You guys have any input? Yeah.
I don't think that's, I mean, I love having a day like that. Yeah. So I appreciate the perspectives of everyone here. And I'm 1% sure that hasn't been in the past. So, Cassie, and Diane, I'm good with the 10 years. Because I feel like one thing that they've been lacking on, one thing that's been expressed, the inability of funds to do what they would like to do with it. And if they truly can't get that kind of support outside without an a longer extended time on the contract, then I feel like we're kind of setting them up for failure. If that's the case, which I'm going to assume it is. Anyway, you bring up very good points about being able to renegotiate it, but I see that being a responsibility of staff and council, that we're then diligent on our code enforcement and we are diligent on renewing it or renegotiating it, being proactive on, you know, making sure that it's done in a timely manner versus putting it on making them pay for it in a way, like lowering. You know. So I think that if giving them 10 years will allow them to be more successful, then I think that we should try and go for it. And with the way the contract's written, if it doesn't work, but that allows them to support what they're asking. Be able to do the things that they. For example, just even, somebody in same professional health outside of the company. Probably is not something that they'll be able to. So, if in fact they need a lot of the product to be able to actually be successful, then I'd rather give them a lot of the contract and allow them the opportunity to try this. For them, because we think they're, I guess, that's not coming out there, right? But I hope we get them. That being said, if the council feels 5 years, I think that's. This is the problem with the training club. It goes round and round.
It measures it, you know. Why?
And, you know, if we put in there, if we have in some other code, things, if we maintain the weeds, then the city will take care of it. Or elsewhere, that somebody doesn't take care of it, we remediate it. Okay, that's just
Well,
one.
it's already, assuming that the code enforcement. Another way you can handle it, not enough. On the- Gonna be something short.
Kind of. My children at this point, you know, like. Not gonna take care of it, it's been, because it has been 4 years of just like. You know, I don't care that they don't care to do it or don't. I have a counter on what do you think? What if we counter up from 12 years, auto reno, free on reviewing the. Every 3 years we review it. But it's for a 12 year. And the numbers are added. I'm sorry. With that. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I think we learned how nice. 1.1. It just talks about that finding paradise. Instructions and improvements that they'll submit a plan to the city for approval, and then later they'll meet with the coordination. But do we need to have in there provisions that whatever that is, when the coordination meeting comes back? Well, is that in there? It's stayed in there. I just want to make sure, is the coordination meeting giving them formal approval, or is staff giving them approval, or is that?
It just simply says the city needs to.
I think we need to declare.
If you want it to be defined.
These are changes.
So can we just add city?
Rather than saying submit to the city, we say submit to the city council.
That's it. Okay. Page,
Make it so that it's still.
page 84, the train club agreement, it says, and I'm doing page numbers based upon my. Can you just tell me what the bullet point number is? It's 1.6.1. It says donations. So we have for the contract, it says donations. Okay, so 1.6.1, club make club donations at all times. And then in 1.6.6, the club shall be allowed to collect a small fee of no more than $2 per night per person. In addition, the club shall be allowed to receive donations in excess of the $2 item fee, so long as it's voluntary. Is this is not applicable to their public run days, correct? Because we're saying they can accept donations, but they can require a fee. And I just want to make sure that that's not population.
One point six. I didn't pick that up. Somebody allowed to collect a fee in the past. At least
On the free ride day. I think
And not collect.
we need to clarify that on the free ride day.
But then the upper ones, it's just saying, well, allow them to put donations. These are just things to change.
Correct.
Specifically with the cost of that. Cost for that.
Correct.
Everyone outside those things that they have scheduled with the state, and then they can charge the $2 fee at normal. But on those free ride days, if they come up to figure in January, those are free.
The donation bucket is for.
Rather than fee, you could. So they're allowed to accept a donation up to $2 per item on.
Neat though that I don't even want to put $2.
That's one of your biggest complaints we get from people.
Yeah.
But at the same time, looking to them, that's the only time that they.
But I don't want to go somewhere and say, it's a free ride day. And I get there and they're like, but you really have to pay $2.
And they go down the line and they have to go. And it is the biggest complaint.
Point again. They wouldn't get
Which is something against the contract.
I'm not- This one says they can.
And I will not say yes to that, just so you know. They're in our park, I know they're paying a minimal rent fee, but the whole point of this train club was to provide this. And if they're not willing to do that, knowing this is how they make their money, and I hear what they're saying. People are generous and they do give donations even on a free ride, but you go tell them that it's a city sponsored day to ride in the park and then they're collecting a fee. I'm not okay with that.
So you're talking the once a month holiday. That they can't do donations?
They can
or
do donations.
They can.
But right here, it says
But they not charge a fee.
We did change the fee to donate. Still be okay. That way they can still ask for donations, whether we have it as a sign that they can put up there that says, you know, donations of up to $2 would be appreciated, or something like that.
No, I still don't, they can ask for donations. I don't feel comfortable personally with saying a dollar amount per. Because then it's not
Well, this is
free.
It's just-
But I think people just whip out, you know, $20 and give it to them just because.
Because at one point, there was a discussion that they didn't have funds to do upgrades, and we said, well, some of the other training clubs throughout the state do charge. And so if that's helpful to you, and that's an option you want to pursue, so that you have the funds, then we change it from being a free to a paid.
But they can do that any other day they want. They can have any other day. You're just saying, since you're in our park,
You're gonna have a free.
there's gonna be at least one benefit to the citizens, but they
Yeah,
can.
I can see that kind of difference on, okay, this is city days, the free day. What else do we call it? So it's just. Public day. It's gonna take about.
On that 1.6.6, be removed, that is new language.
I mean, it could start out by on 100 days, a public day or 3 day, whatever we want to call it, for city day. They can collect up to $2 per ride. Because then if they do their other ones, then they can. Show up and it's-
What they can charge.
Not necessarily. Well, still privately owned.
And public day is going to specifically not be allowed to charge a fee on, then I think just going 166 will do it.
But do we need to put in there that they shouldn't charge a fee? That's fine. I mean, that's been a point.
So do we,
That and the weeds are the 2 points that we've talked about with them for the last 5 years.
what if you said something along the lines of, on a public run day, which we referenced earlier, kind of referenced by section cover, the club is allowed to accept donation, but not allowed to charge a per user.
Okay.
Is it more about the pressure for donations than the actual soliciting of donations? They're allowed to accept, but I don't know how you would talk about the pressure of soliciting.
The complaint that I've had is on those free run days, when people have gone down and they bring the train, and then whoever's in charge, some ask each one of them with a container, you know, holding it out, almost pressuring them to give us the donation. And they, a lot of us at least have felt the pressure that we need to make a donation or else, so to speak. So I don't like that. If they do a donation on free ride day, I think it needs to just have be a canister out in the front or somewhere that says we're accepting donations and leave it at that. And not go around and it's a legal implementation of.
reflect donations to us.
I think one argument is that I think that language in there in some way, shape, or form on non-public days is that in essence, it's still a public amenity, right? So we are subsidizing it, whatever that dollar amount is. They, right, but we're subsidizing public space. So I think it might be pertinent for us to regulate that full charge for the public.
That's what I think you can just add in there on the public right of way. If you cannot charge a fee, it can be by donations on. Am I saying that wrong?
No, I'm just,
It
it's
is.
almost comical.
It is.
No, we're not.
On the far line. One of the. One. It's coming by the ultimate.
Haven't seen their houses. Then we have no way.
Well, so in 3 years, we can look at the contract.
You can just turn
That's why I was wondering.
I'm good with James.
The phrase voluntary donation added versus donation.
I mean, a donation is voluntary, but like,
Well, a lot.
you want to play bucket out or, fit about, like. But like, I don't, the, bring your little hat around, and then like, hang up or, yeah, like.
You may talk about now which they would put on that day, but.
Maybe it has to do with the box. Yeah, you may donate, but right on. So the public knows when we go.
I have 5 more comments. Section 6.0.
Let's say just real quickly, I really do appreciate how you were at no more than 3 years and you don't. follow.
But you have to revisit it.
I know, it's like.
Six point oh, discrimination. It's very vague. I don't know how important this is. It's a very last sentence. It says, 90 days. Do we need to define? Like if we say on January 1st, no, you're out, and then the weather's crappy until April 11th, then do we need to say, okay, now really here's your 90 day starts? No. Do we need to have any clause in there about how we? Because it's really easy to say weather permitting, and I was like, it wasn't perfect, it was 85 degrees, and that's my perfect weather.
Now, I would say.
Welcome, welcome.
Their original. You know, they have 90 days to get out, and says, well, okay, if we have a meeting in November, and you tell us we gotta get out then, because every winter, we can't even get into the track. You're gonna expect this to be out of there in the middle of February. Yeah, that's that reason, that's why we are doing permitting. Yeah, there's no definition of this weather.
Okay, all right, we're fine, we're fine.
So this is the procedure. This one is called Mail exchange that I have today. You can see they were not able to attend. There were kind of some wires crossed between the committee and the club in terms of when this would come to the council. They thought it was going to be another committee meeting to discuss it, not before it went to the full council. So there was some miscommunication there. But we basically presented a couple options to them and to you as the council that the committee had said, don't do any more run days until we have a contract. And so, and the weather makes it so they weren't going to run in April anyway. So really, we're targeting May as their first public run day. And if the council wants to approve the contract with language changes tonight, obviously you have that option before you. If that was the case, then it would kind of be in the club's hands to sign it as well. If they were uncomfortable for any reason and didn't want to sign it, then they would obviously come to the committee and say, here's some other ideas or other things. They have indicated again through email this afternoon that there are a couple of points they want to bring to the committee. They're not sure if it would rise to the level of changing the agreement, but they wanted to make sure we had an understanding of those items. So really before the council, the option of continuing this item until May 9th, when they could plan to be here, you could have a more thorough conversation with them, is an option. Of course, the committee would meet in the interim to try to iron those things out and better understand their position and have more of a finalized document in front of you. Or you could approve it tonight with the understanding that they may not want to sign it as is because they've had a couple of questions that they feel like they didn't get a chance to bring. And so if they didn't sign it, then those amendments would come back to you on May. And
I do not wish to continue.
Did you get any other changes? Those addressed as far as the term and things like that?
I'm sorry, can we get a regular reader who is looking at table this or continue this and move on? They don't know that I want to choose them.
I don't really want to continue it because I don't want to have, someone's going to talk about this another color next month.
Are they gonna be here?
Yeah.
You say that would be done.
One, 8390. Do you?
I'm okay with voting on it tonight. But I don't care if it gets approved tonight or not. We want them to run.
And if they decide not to sign it, then.
Right there.
Yeah, this just review. Right. approve it, and for sure. Yeah. My hesitation, we approve it with comment that the language that James approved, because I don't have it down.
Well, that's all you have to refer, that's all you have to refer to it. 1.1, you have to ask.
Sounds like we're ready to go.
And the language Joel talked about as far as the state guidelines. A general one.
Okay, that's in there.
We talked about, I didn't think of it.
Last week,
It was already in the package.
Where is it?
Not in there right
What
now.
does it mean?
All that is gonna hold on.
I'm comfortable with, what Jim is going to be doing. I'm fine with it, but it always. Comes down to
I promise I won't be something. Maybe.
You guys have to discuss it. It's not a big deal with them, it's just.
just because I still have no idea what they're doing.
Please,
Okay.
take off this one.
You'll get all of you will get it.
Okay, 2 weeks or.
To 10 South Carolina.
On that. The next meeting or did it? The next meeting. You don't have to, but that just makes it. Clear.
Well, I was gonna say, affordable. Next meeting.
You don't want me not to.
Okay, motion. Exercise. Lundquist. You let them come on with.
No.
Angie, you can actually sub for me in the next 2 weeks if you're not.
I love that.
Okay,
Resolution 3-11, redevelopment agency reimbursement.
May I make a motion, we approve resolution 23-11, redevelopment agency reimbursement agreement.
Second. Okay, Councilman Bill. Next, resolution. That's 12.
Public hearing is open.
On that,
Mayor, I make a motion to close. public hearing.
I'll second that.
motion on the second. All in favor, we have the roll call.
All in favor?
Hang on. Now, we'll leave you. Dash 12, budget amendments, fiscal year 2023. Discussion on this?
Yep.
Yes.
I'd like to make a couple of clarifications that are needed for the motion. The first is we need to be change the one. If you look where I talked about the bike track and Peterson Barn Memorial, both entries should be 10,000, not 10,060, 60,000, 10,060. They should all, it should just be 10,000. And a clarification on what was addressed in the comments. Just quickly, on the first, where we're talking about the gravel pit, make sure you understand what that was. 85,000 was contributed to go towards Canyon Meadows last fiscal year by mistake. Was not thought of this fiscal year. It was the other royalties to go to the recreation. In order to transfer that 85,000 over to the projects, we have to show it as an expense in the recreation revenue in that project. The first one that says recreation on 20, we're adding $85,000. $85,000 to revenue. That's revenue and 145 was decreasing. We're adding one revenue, increasing. We're increasing one revenue, which is contributions, and decreasing the other revenue by 80%. So this is 45, and we're talking about 40,000, which goes with where the 40,000, we're increasing the revenue, increasing by both of those. So if you're just decreasing an expense, one expense and increasing another, that's what it's like. But if you're increasing both the revenue and you're increasing the expenditure, that's why they're both. Does that clarify? So hopefully that helps you understand. Increasing the line item. So we have to, we're not just moving expenses around, we're just moving revenues around. Increasing the whole budget. You'll have an increase in revenue and an increase.
So that still existed. This was extra.
Well, they made the donation, but the donation was reported from the recreation fund. Came through their contribution came through with the same payment that they do when they give us the loan. Going to the recreation. They can only report it from the recreation. So this is an adjustment to move it back out of recreation over into capital project for any mineral project was. And there was another question on
Thank you. Matt, any other questions?
I do have a question, and really apologize for that. So for the beginning, the sewer station plus 8,000. Appreciation.
We show, on appreciation, some cities show appreciation, some cities do. We show the depreciation because this is an enterprise fund, it's treated like a business. And so to show all the things that would show up on the profit and loss statement for business, depreciation is one of those. What actually, it's no non-cash expenditure, the money that for depreciation increases your fund balance. It is showing that you are accounting for depreciation. And when you were to take our budget and translate our budget into a profit and loss, then you might suddenly show something on the profit.
Sewer fund.
We are accounting for the depreciation. The reason it's increased is at the time we did the budget last year, was before we did the closing at the end of the year. And we were over on our depreciation, depreciation. This is bringing up to be closer to what they were last year. Many people get confused about what they do.
Other questions? Let's have a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution 23-12, budget amendment, balance fiscal year 2023 with the following amendments. Barn memorial change from 60,000 to 10,000.
Can I have a second? Roll call vote. Councilman Bailey.
Okay.
I have to add one more.
There was
I think you listed both of them.
You're welcome.
And next item. We have 13. Discussions on this resolution.
We really changing the stuff. It's more of a evaluation, but we need to get that directed at some point.
Yeah, I'll follow up with water department. And see if that needs an adjustment. And this is procedural that the report wants to go for the city council. Has been submitted already. Follow up with Mark. Clarifying.
Motion is second. We'll call the vote. Councilman Culberson. Carries. A discussion on fiscal year 2024 budget. See how much-
Okay. Yeah, well, let's see. Page 1, 2, these are really simple, I promise. Okay, 152, the fire agreement with Job Corps, I just wanted to verify that we, our public safety committee talked about revisiting that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. 155, city holiday season event, 10/41/60, 6/20, that's our Christmas party. Okay. On page 168, I don't see anywhere about an ice machine or that.
They'll do.
Five.
What else?
For the restroom, those kind of things.
I'd like for you guys, public safety committee to be discussed. So like, we could invest in a cheaper.
It is a big number, but
We don't have to discuss it right now, it's something else, but I do not, I just want. to use- Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, so just for, clarification, because I know we discussed in our public, so in our, PR, where are we? Public relations. 10/58/6/20 miscellaneous community building events. That is all of our three that we switched from the recreation, right? The breakfast with Santa, Halloween, and
Easter.
Easter. Downtown. Easter's not in this one. Easter comes out licensing. Okay, just making sure that's what was in the one. I'll skip this one and come back to it. Okay. 186 for recreation equipment. Last year we had in the budget bell fans, and I don't see that this year, but I don't ever remember seeing that come through. Was that taken out?
Yes.
Thank you. See how quick? Page 2, I'm gonna have to go back. Page 179 for the tree program, $10,000. Is that to provide new trees? Is that to maintain current trees, or yes and yes? Okay.
We actually lost quite a few trees this year. So, if we're gonna be trying to replace those.
Just throughout the city, right?
And then,
Sounds good. Page 217, under 6060, 960, equipment spelled wrong. Okay. But page 216, 6060, 960, the fire department is requesting a side by side, and I don't feel like that's necessary. So. My thumb on that.
Was it side by side because of the trails?
Yes, there mostly is trails in the fall. But it's also used for all kinds of other things. For example, anytime you country fair days, when you see the side by side, that's a border vehicle. Other community that is allowing us to use that for things like that. Parade or the Little Bunker Rodeo. But yes, trails is kind of a.
Okay, hearing that. Don't feel like this is the year to ask for that. Sorry, chief, I just don't. Actually, no apologies, I just don't.
well, I get it, because we're gonna be dealing with the least budget over time. So it is $11,000.
Valid point. Thank you.
The first week of May. If there are major line items. that you- I appreciate that. I would like to.
And-
What was your opinion?
Yeah.
And my opinion was that it shouldn't be a mayor list.
There is a grant, decided that is due the first part of May.
Which they'll send us. To
Take it out. And then if they get the grant, we need to. I think if we get- We're gonna get that.
I don't know. What do you- I suppose we-
They weren't necessarily doing. the job. They were scheduled for replacement and the decision was made to put them on the police program.
Was that a 5-year rotation?
I believe it was a 5-year.
So out of curiosity, you want to go about 45. 183, 45, 43.
Like, you know, I think we're gonna change that to 2.
I said, I'm sorry, 45, 43.
Yeah. It's 10,000 right now for Christmas lights and decorations.
Seems like we talked about how many things that.
At the time, we really, nobody. What, vision, what you want. And. This is what it's been up to the community. We put it in the whole place, not only what you-
Talk about it.
Yeah, we did.
That is too much.
That was too much.
What's the consensus on the side by side? Okay,
In fairness to Chief Pullman, I think you probably like the opportunity to speak to the service level of that vehicle and what it would provide. I'm sure you would.
that's fine. Every time.
And I mentioned. It's just the high level is what I have right now.
Yeah.
We should.
Well, this is not necessarily a final budget, but it does definitely dictate what, gives direction to MAC as far as what goes in the tentative budget, which has to be adopted in the first meeting in May, so our next meeting. The tentative budget will be adopted. publish that tentative budget for the community to look at. We request public comment on that tentative budget toward the end of May. And then based on that public comment, the council has time to consider what they want. Final budget.
It is a little more than that. Because it will be coming. For us to give some kind of approval.
That this is what the tentative budget. Your wishes. Not to make changes to one. One to do something.
And so back to the mayor's Christmas line, we said, is everybody okay with 2,000?
I'll even donate, Nathan. It's. It's like, if you bring this building, I will.
Curiosity, you know where we're, you know, right?
I just don't.
Just
want
sitting
people to hear like-
I will say, it's out commercial Christmas lights. 2000 doesn't not. Especially if you want to over.
We're gonna work on a couple citizens.
We're gonna work on
To do it for a living.
I don't feel like we're anticipating the size of Reed Clarkfield City.
Still have.
No.
Okay, I have another
So
discussion.
yeah, sorry, we, yep, one night, 72.
I'm still going to.
I'll donate.
So Joel says 0, but donation. And it's not a required donation.
They can trust us, we just need to take 2,000 out of it. I'm good with that.
Versus life.
So here's my other thought, I like, that we give away a, reading something. People are like, what?
Like God, of life donation.
Donated, they just didn't get, well, they did get funding, but they haven't been getting credit since. I think we just need somebody to.
So it was
Especially paying plans. Is why I feel like would get us through a non-donation. Until maybe.
No,
So one dollar, if I hear one. I'm still gonna.
That's just that 2,000 goes towards putting, not buying that. Am I understanding that right? So with that, you're shaking your head no.
This is a kind of high level.
This is nothing to you.
Part of it, because I don't think there's just something in there because we talked about. We don't spend it. We get it. That's perfect. He was budgeting something in there so that we made sure we had something. Period.
I would just mention that the one big, the largest decoration that we have. And it is really. Well. One, I think not even. There's some that in here, they were well used when I came to it. And so I can understand the mayor, but it's your decision as to what you want to put in. I don't know, and if we're just, how much do you like to think, well, what do you want? And I think that's going to determine how. He wants to do it.
Right.
I don't talk about it.
I'm completely-
We have two more, just be regarding the, on page 216. We discussed in committee, this water wheel loader for 30,000. We discussed holding off on that one until we have new money. So,
That was disgusting.
so we're okay taking that.
Wonderful.
But, okay, let's take that one. And then my last question would be, the code enforcement vehicle, please refresh to me. I vaguely remember this conversation. What happened to the car? If we still have the car,
We still have the car and I'm scheduled to be replaced. And it went to the fire department to act the chief's vehicle. So, it totaled with that extra? No, whatever that one. And so then using that one. We're waiting for one. What that was scheduled for the replacement, we were going to sell the Camry. The excursion was, and not repairable, and then I requested a replacement vehicle. And instead of putting a replacement vehicle into the budget, I kept it over the.
so there, so the Camry for all intents and purposes belongs to the fire department. That's our lease.
We'll say that I don't think that that's a long-term solution for a cheap vehicle. This last winter was a good example. Many of us were sitting in meetings with Chief Pullman, and he had to leave lights and sirens from here to go and respond. And if he's got a vehicle without lights and sirens and a Camry, that's not a great situation. So it's a temporary solution.
So just riddle me this then. Why was that replacement vehicle not presented in the budget, but a side by side was?
They felt the side by side was more. That was the decision.
I don't agree with that. I'd love to guys explain that to me. A daily driver versus a recreational vehicle.
It's a level of service for the community. And I don't want to put words in his mouth. I think he needs to be able to speak to our service. But right now, there have been experiences, recent, not necessarily during the winter months, but when we've had to respond to the Weaver River Parkway Trail, they have to respond from I-84. They can't get to the trail. And so the side by side is a vehicle that would get them to the trail.
And for those trails, it's putting a burden on, it's a big number to put. It's not just a side by side. You put all the medical gear and all that stuff on that.
So then I'm sitting there, the irony of him saying, I want this side by side and I'll fill with a car. Not lost on me, like,
I wanted to explain the vehicle thing that was vehicle that they should use when they go to meetings outside the city, when they're traveling around and outside, if they're running errands and different things. That's what they do. If they go to training. We say it's each vehicle, but a lot of the discussion is not for something that's what they're going to need to respond once it's violent, it's kind of helpful way. Then outside of the city, they're not taking all responsibility. Less it is to mutual aid from the other part is that we have the medic truck, and then we have, the command vehicle, which is the backup medic truck. Both the response vehicles, but, Chief said that he could use that command vehicle, that backup medic truck, as needed. And so he felt like he could get by with that at this point, and again, have supplement with the Camry, whereas the vehicles is more of the response vehicle, and that's why. And again, we don't want to put words in his mouth, but my understanding is that it was prioritized in. They recognize that, I think for two vehicles, though, again, long term, we see that as the solution, that right now, one vehicle request was prioritized above the other. Right now, very good. And one of the lady truck wasn't the one to do.
Thank you. Mayor, that's all that I have.
One second.
Okay.
Clarification on 216. The new for 20, those all additional pieces or are they one-time buys? So we're looking to
Instead of buying. It's a lease, but it's a lease purchase. It's putting them on that.
what we're here for the fire truck. I misunderstood. I thought these were.
The word board, not what. Board.
Yeah, good for me.
This is every 5 years.
That has been, is a little bit of history down. I find here one of the most controversial. Board. We have fluctuating budget. Large items.
Dump truck and stuff, we typically. Dump trucks, just like, you know, large apparatus. So that's why that's how to do it, too, that I can, they explained that to me. But yeah, and the mowers were coming due, but that's when we changed the waste.
They're actually reducing the number of mowers. Getting a lot of work. Virgin mowers that we more. One, two. One.
We're ready for it.
And 8,000.
That's not for new.
Why don't these requests come through?
And nothing that you see.
So just for the presentation we had. We spent about three. We had $42,000.
Yes, now I'm confused. I don't know what meeting you're referring to.
The one right here. This is not Parks and Rec.
So this is all coming, this is all through the committee. Everything that you saw here was talked about in the committee.
The Parks and Rec.
You're talking about the motor? Yeah, they were discussed with the Parks and Rec. All the vehicles for each area of the city was discussed. in committee.
There's no word of that.
And did the park mowers come up in the municipal utilities committee instead of the parks committee? No.
We just discussed that.
I mean, we saw it on the budget, it was a brief discussion of what they were doing with them, but it wasn't part of our budget overall. But all they wanted to use I had just thought that the voter was gonna be put
Yeah.
when we do the building, because that can, pace currently, that could be 2 years from now. And I do think, and I know Brian is not gonna be very happy about that. I do know it can be used throughout the city, and they can use it, and we're gonna kick ourselves if we start flooding and we don't have a front end loader. But we have a lot of excavation companies here in town. If we get them, they'll figure it. And then
You've got any? Bill?
Do we love that the entire city budget took less than the transfer?
Would disagree with you. You spent a lot of time over the last few months talking budget to get to that point.
Any new business? Staff, do you have any new business? So, work. Like to discuss on your committee.
Are you going down the line or just don't speak all of it? I'll just put, coach committee. Keeping straight. But it sounds like we have finished, our conditional use permit section. Yeah. Are we meeting again to go over there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm more. I'm listening to most even. Took a lot of work. Everything.
we need to discuss. But someone requested information from them on Johnson's. So we have the presentation for options from Matt. We budgeted an amount in here. Don't want everybody to be surprised with that. If they didn't notice the amount in this budget. That amount is in there.
And Mac brought this to my attention. The 41,000 that you cut, 11,000 of that is within the same capital funds project as the large apparatus. And so that 11,000 goes for that. The 30,000 could not, because that's part of the water fund and not capital project fund. And if you wanted to shift that over and not allocate that, that's an option as well. But yeah, we're happy to talk through the spreadsheet there as far as the large apparatus and those options that were presented.
I don't think that this is, but I just wanted to make sure that that was not. I mean,
We have the 185.
budget of the 185.
For this year, I think there's a recognition that we want to plan over time and put money aside for those large purchases. The largest capital project purchases in front of us are the public works facility and the large apparatus. And so the $200,000 that we are allocating of sales tax each year, recognizing that 185 is for fire, lease, and large apparatus.
So I was hoping that we'd be able to do, and I apologize. I didn't understand this. Is that, we've got quite a few capital projects. There were even like the reservoir, and then we have to. I think that that's what we need to look at. If we are going to move the money, it seems like that's the rest of the capital projects. And I'm just wondering, when we get one, pay for it. Those other capital projects right now, that we have money inside there, we've got money set aside in, things like that, we have to rather than things, projects, or we're just saying we're going to bond. I don't think we had that discussion. So it's really where it's coming from. Is if we're going to move money. Projects. And we can't just move those here. I mean, it's one to have the discussion. Council.
Let me make one distinction, and that is when I say capital fund, the capital projects fund is directly tied to the general fund and what it can pay for. Capital projects, meaning our capital facilities plans projects for the water, sewer, storm drain, all of our enterprise funds are separate and distinct, and those funds do not mix. So when we talk about our water projects, when we talk about our sewer line updates, when we talk about all of those are separate and distinct from the fire apparatus. Fire apparatus comes out of the capital projects fund, which again is tied to general fund expenditures. They overlap in what they pay for. And those are governmental activities, parks, general administration, streets, and fire. Those are general fund activities and capital projects fund activities. General fund is for operations. Capital projects fund is for the large one-time expenditures over 10. All of those other projects that we do are even our annual street maintenance comes out of the TUF, right? So that's not capital projects fund money. And because I don't say fund at the end of every time I refer to capital projects, maybe I make that confusing. I apologize for that. We need to distinguish when we're talking capital projects fund and when we're talking large projects across the city.
What else is the capital projects fund?
Let's pull that up.
Okay, take that 2,000 out. And 5 of the trees.
Let's see. The easy answer is in order to plan for the public works facility and the large apparatus purchase, which My understanding is the council has said those are our two most important and next in line capital project fund projects. There's very little of capital projects in the capital fund project. And in order to prepare to pay for the public works facility, we have delayed in the budget now the enterprise funds capital facilities plans projects as well. And so we show very little capital facilities plans projects in that now. So that the those fund balances will grow. Sorry, will grow. And I want to get choked up about it. So those fund balances will grow in the enterprise funds and be there to pay off bond payments once we have that. So the short answer is capital projects, fund projects, and capital facilities plan projects are all essentially being delayed or being put on hold in order to take care of the capital, the large apparatus purchase and the public works facility.
Right now, the only thing that we have budgeted for next year from the capital projects from for Christmas lights, 185 for the fire department apparatus on one line, and 50,000 for street. The street light program. All of there are no other budgets. We look at the current budget, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 line items with various things. Most of those that were in there were the waste programs for the department that are operation. They will be Clarify, that doesn't affect our street maintenance. Any of those things are different.
Get that. And what we're saying is.
Yeah.
Things that are falling here. Separately, we have don't have to take down blame for replacing the water tank. We need to replace the water tank, or that's just.
The capital facilities, not for water. Capital facilities plan for water identifies needed projects in the water department. We're essentially saying in order to have money available for the public works facility, once we bond, and then once we know what those numbers are going to be, in order to be prepared for that, we're delaying any of the water projects to a project, those infrastructure projects that are on the capital facilities plan. So replacement of the water tank, I don't know what year that was planned for in the future. It was out there ways, I believe, but those types of projects we are seeing, and we're going to use money that was earmarked for those projects to the public works facility. And that is the prioritization that is. So we're saying the public works facility is the largest capital project for each of those funds, because so many departments and funds are touching public works, they all can contribute their fair share. And so that's why public works affects all of that.
So all of that money that is
Yeah, we're not showing doing any projects. We're showing having the fund balance grow so that we'll be able to pay for public works.
You can go back to council reports.
Look up the sensors for.
Easter egg hunt was canceled. But I appreciate staff, Shaley, and Denise Next one, actually, then, sorry about that, I think. Appreciate it. I think good idea. And then we're just waiting to meet again from the next one. Please schedule out.
I got an update there. I was excited for that report, actually. Mark Larson, Brandon Jones, myself, and one of Brandon's staff members said, I mean, there's more of the engineer. We met today and talked about next steps. We received CRSA's information. By the first week of May, we should have the bid package that the council requested and talked about. We want to take that to the municipal utilities committee first to look at and make sure we've got that ready before we would publish it. But that's only 3 weeks away. I thought we were only 3 weeks away a long time ago, so I'm not getting overly excited, but I do feel like we have the pieces in place to get ready.
Are you covering? Okay, anything else there?
Yes, I do think it's important for the rest of the council to know that the mayor, myself, and Trevor were able to meet with 2 of our state representatives today. Katie Hall and Trevor Lee, as well as Justin Lee from the Utah League of Cities and Towns, to talk about gravel pit legislation. That whole meeting, the last session, to work through the interim. They were very supportive, and we are going to basically be the point of the spear, I think, on this throughout the interim, working with the league to try to bring all stakeholders together on discussion of gravel pits, dust, nuisance, all kinds of the issues that come with being a host city for gravel pits. On that legislative angle, or if you remember all of the different ways that we could try to attack this problem, and legislative was one of those veins. It was a very productive meeting, I felt, and maybe Mayor and Trevor can speak more to it, but it was great to feel like we've got support from the league and from our own representatives to carry the ball. Ultimately, any bill that goes through the state and through the legislature has to either be sponsored by an individual representative or senator, or through a committee, which then is assigned to a senator. So this may be a major hurdle, actually. Keep you posted on
The
that.
other rep, yeah.
Katie Hall and Trevor. So that was a good thing. Point out is we've seen the progress made on the city hall remodel so far. We're hopeful to end phase 1 beginning or end of this week. Phase 1 is from that door threshold over. Mayor can speak more to the timeline, but after the court proceedings this Thursday, from there, we'll be able to start working on phase 2, which is this west side of the building. So council chambers in the west. So next Monday will be kind of phase 2, moving and demo day, and we'll move staff over to that side of the building, operate out of that east wing, and the work will then commence on this side of the building. And, it's pretty exciting. You can see the results in front of your eyes on that east side. It's really cool for the east side. Enjoy the meetings next week.
Thank you, Dave. We'll go ahead and adjourn for city council. Ask for a motion to adjourn city council. Okay.
Mhm.